Over communicating is better than nothing. I would rather you ask me a billion questions than not be able to do your job correctly. Having a open door policy. Basically what that means is that you are open to conversation. So if you have somebody on your team that has a question or has feedback, create an office hour. If you're virtual, say, okay, my office is open from 10 to 2. They can send you a Zoom link to have a conversation with you or get on the phone. You just want to make sure that you're having these open conversations to make sure that there's feedback, what needs to be improved, because again, you hire people to help you grow your business. So don't leave your team in the dark.
Hey friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social Podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm here to help you market your business in a genuine way that works without wasting your precious time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some genuine conversation for the good of your biz. Hey, my Feel Good friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social Podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm so excited to share today's guest with you. Her name is Sara, and she works as an OBM, helping online business owners to manage their teams and make sure that everything in their business is running as smoothly as possible. She is dishing up so many really actionable and awesome tips for working with team members to make sure that everyone feels connected, everyone feels on task, and how you can help your team do the best job possible for you. So I know you're going to love this convo as much as I did. If you do, make sure you share it with a business friend who could also use to listen to it. And why not leave us 5 stars or a friendly review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, because it will help us to continue spreading our feel good message. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in. Hi, Sara. Thank you so much for coming on the Feel Good Social Podcast. I'm so excited to bring you on the show, lady.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited about this too.
Yes. Oh, Rich, it's going to be so fun to chat. I did already introduce you just a little bit in the intro, but I'd love to hear from you. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you serve?
Well, my name is Sara, and I'm the owner of You Are Rembert. I wanted to incorporate and honor my family in a way with my business. My maiden name is Rembert, so that's how I came up with the name. I'm an online business manager that helps CEOs build, grow, and sustain teams. My values are like family. Like I really thrive on family and conversations and making sure that everybody that comes into my space is welcome and feels valued. With everything that I do for the clients I work for, I want to be able to humanize the workplace. That is what I do.
Yes, I love that. And oh man, team building in this digital age is something that we all need to talk about for sure. But before we dive into all your tips and tricks that you have to share and whatnot, I always kind of like to kick off the conversations by asking just what has your journey looked like? Like, how did you get started doing what you do and how has it evolved until now?
It's been a wild ride. I never would have thought I would be here. About 2 weeks ago, it was the 3rd year being in business, so 3-year anniversary. I was actually a case manager and I worked for a nonprofit for a couple of years. And then COVID happened and I was let go, as many of other people were. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I job hopped, which was not ideal. Going from job to job. I have kids. I had to take them out of preschool. It was tough. And I talked to my husband. I'm like, I need to start working from home. We have small kids. I want to be able to be home with them and still work. So I started freelancing, had no idea what I was doing, like no idea. And as a business owner, I didn't have anybody to talk to about those things. So I started, and the first 6 months I wanted to give up because I was super overwhelmed. I didn't know what I was doing, but I kept going and kept going. My 2nd month into announcing that I was a freelancer, I landed my first client and still with her today. So I went from being just like this little VA for her business to being an online business manager and overseeing her team. and doing all those awesome things for her. So it's been great. I cried a few times a couple of weeks ago because I was really happy to the fact that I made it this far and it's going to keep going.
Oh my goodness. I love that. And thank you for being so, real with us about this journey, and congrats on 3 years for sure. Because
thank you.
Believe me. Yeah, I know anyone listening to this podcast, we're all like, yup, because it's so hard and scary and always moving and always more things to learn. And then you're like finally on the right track. And then either something happens or you have to pivot or you realize that, it's just like this crazy ever evolving journey, which is scary, hard, frustrating, and also exciting and awesome. And like you have to celebrate and cry at the same time. And I love it so much, lady. So oh my gosh. I love how you just kind of got started, being like, I don't know what I'm doing. And like, I'm freelancing and like not really knowing where this was headed. But sometimes I feel like that's the best way to really like splatting spaghetti on the wall really is sometimes the best way to find what sticks. Because if you come into something trying to think about it as this rigid thing, this is what I'm doing, then you sometimes don't allow yourself the open mind, the possibilities that then allow you to land on what truly you want to do and stuff. So how did you kind of start figuring out, oh, okay, so I'm kind of just doing VA freelance, but now I realize that my path is OBM and team management and stuff. Like, how did that start falling into place for you?
So when I was a case manager, I was really called a workforce advocate, and I helped felons get jobs. And I would teach them about soft skills, and I would teach them about how to write a resume, like how to interact with people. Because again, when you are in jail, you don't have a lot of these types of resources. So when you come out, you need to know like how to do the basic stuff for work. And when I started my business, people think I'm crazy, but I love admin. I love doing administrative. I love anything behind the scenes. I want to be able to say, hey, I was a part of that, even though I was doing admin stuff and helping the team. But the way your business is internally, it's going to affect the way your business is externally, the way you interact with clients and the people that you interact with on a daily basis. I knew that I wanted to make sure that teams were set up for success in a way, because soft skills, your interpersonal attributes, the way that you are as a person is going to help your business thrive. I love the fact that I'm able to manage teams from size of 2 to 10 people and to support them. Not necessarily like, this is your job. That like, I'm not always delegating. I'm more like sitting there, like listening and supporting them and making sure that they're set up for success and that they're able to do the job that they're set out to do. So for example, I was in a meeting today with a team member. One of my clients has a team, and I meet with each team member every week. I'm like, okay, what are you working on this week? What do you need help with to be able to move your projects to the end goal? So just being able to support them. And to me, that's amazing, because as a owner, you're busy, right? You're trying to make more sales, you're networking and stuff. And now you got this team that you have to manage, but there needs to be somebody in the middle. And that's where I would come in, is being that support role to make sure that your business thrives.
Oh, wow. I love kind of all of the little tips, the underlying tips that you shared within that, just like sharing your story and how this came about, because exactly, it's not our fault when we get thrown into situations that we have not been trained or don't have any experience with. Yeah. And you hear things, you hear all the advice online, and you have like these ideas associated with things such as like team management. Well, that's delegating, that's being a boss, that's telling people what's what and how to do things and all the different stuff. But often it's like you just said, it's flipping the script. It's like, how can I support you? What do you need? How do you work? Like, how can we work together in the best way? And it's not necessarily laying down the law. It's more so listening and collaborating. I love that you just shared that when it comes to team members. I think that can be super helpful, because I do think it's frustrating sometimes, especially in the online business space. Like, so many of us, all of a sudden we're thrown into entrepreneurship and we're like, wait, I just wanted to do this one thing that I'm really good at, that I found out I could make a business around. And all of a sudden I have to be a marketer, be a team like leader, be all these different things. Yeah, that we don't know. So like, what are some other tips that you have for, I guess like when it comes to building your team, starting to grow your business and build a team, like, do you have any tips for people who are kind of just starting in that area to set themselves up for success?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously when you start your business, you have a plan for your passion. You're like, okay, I'm going to bake cookies, right? This is what I'm passionate about. I'm going to bake cookies. I'm going to sell cookies. Great. Now you're getting really busy and now you need to build a team. How do you build a team? You need to make sure that your systems are set up to where when you do hire somebody, what direction can they go in? Meaning, like standard operating procedures, which are SOPs. But if you hire somebody and they come in and you train somebody on whatever task, like how to bake a cookie, you need to have it outlined step by step. It is the guideline of how to do a task. It's your recipe, right? So you take that. And then if you're busy and have a question, they can go back and look at that standard operating procedure, SOP, say, okay, well, this is step 2. That's what I was missing. So it's a helpful guide that you should have in your business. So even if you don't think you're going to hire for yet, you still should have all these standard operating procedures written out. I've written many. There's many ways that you can go about doing that. People are visual learners. People like to read, like to watch. So depending, you can make them in so many different ways. But it's just like outline of how to get a task done. And then also when it comes to trying to prepare to build your team, make sure that you have all your job descriptions written in a way to where it makes sense for you and the person that you're hiring, setting all like, this is what you expect and the job that you're hiring for, because if it's not communicated when you're in the process of hiring somebody, contractor, employee, you want to have a conversation with them. There's some go into interviews. They have like all these, they're not great questions. Like, how well can you do a job or what's your weakness? Yes, they're good questions to get to know the person, but have open-ended conversation when you are trying to hire somebody. You can hire somebody obviously based off their skills, because that's why you're hiring somebody, because of their skills, but how are they as a person? So just being able to have like the soft skills or interpersonal skills. And that's how you get to know somebody in the hiring process. And another thing too, obviously things would always need to be worked on as time goes on, but you just want to have the basics set up, because if you don't and you hire somebody, it's going to get chaotic. And then you're going to question yourself, why did I hire this person? Well, because you need to hire somebody because you need the help. So just make sure that you have all your back end systems set up to where when you hire, that person is set up for success in your business.
Let's take a quick break.
Do you want to create more Instagram Reels but get stuck on what to post? I hear you. That's why I'm excited to share our new free resource, the Reels Prompt Playbook for ChatGPT. This playbook includes 20 ready-to-use AI prompts for Reels, hooks, and captions, and makes it super easy to create trendy content that grabs attention without spending endless hours scrolling Instagram for inspiration. Whether you want to share behind the scenes, offer quick tips, or tap into the latest trends, the Reels Prompt Playbook has you covered. Download your free Reels prompt playbook at DIY.ai/Reels. And the best part, these ChatGPT prompts are designed to work for entrepreneurs in any industry. Plus, you can pair these prompts with any trending audio or any video that you find on your phone. Basically, they're super easy, super quick, and will keep your content super authentic while saving you loads of time and headache. Grab your free playbook now at DIY.ai/Reels and start showing up on Instagram consistently today. Yes. Oh, I loved all those tips for sure. And I'm laughing too, because yeah, exactly. Like you're hiring someone to help to have them help you, get rid of the chaos, not add more chaos to your plate. And also, I'm laughing because, I've been building my brand Authentic AI on like sister brands to Feel Good Social lately. And so I'm all up AI's butt lately and stuff. And I'm laughing when you said, a lot of people don't like writing SOPs and stuff, but they're so, so important. Like that is something that a lot of people will get ChatGPT to help them with now. Or there's even AI tools out there that literally like you'll screen record your computer screen doing tasks, and then the AI will create an SOP for you based on like that. But I'm also laughing because, you know, people struggle with AI tools, but if you think about treating an AI tool like a team member like that and giving it specific instructions and the step by step, it does make it so easier.
Yeah.
But I would love to kind of ask you about when it comes to you have these awesome team members doing work for you and you're trying to communicate with them and you're trying to help them work for you in the best way and like navigate the life things that happen and whatever pops up. What are some of those tips that you have for working with team members? Because I know that that can be a little bit hard for new business owners, especially when you're trying to do your own stuff and you're also trying to manage a team, which I know that that's where you come in and help people with that.
Communication. We say this a lot on our podcast, Entrepreneur Encounter. Communication is like the number one skill that everybody should have. And I know there are times when it's thrown out the door, but over communicating is better than nothing. I would rather you ask me a billion questions than not be able to do your job correctly. And then also having a open door policy. Basically what that means is that you are open to conversation. So if you have somebody on your team that has a question or has feedback, create an office hour. Like, okay, my office hours, I'm doing quotation marks because like if you're virtual, say, okay, my office is open from 10 to 2. Okay, cool. They can send you a Zoom link to get, you know, to have a conversation with you or get on the phone. You just want to make sure that you're having these open conversations to make sure that there's feedback, what needs to be improved, because again, you hire people to help you grow your business. So don't leave your team in the dark. You want to make sure that you're there for them. And then if you are out for vacation or you have a lot of things going on, that's why you need to hire a middle person, such as myself, to like be that person that helps bridge the gap, which is that support system in your business.
So like, at what point do you think people need to ask themselves, like, do I need to hire help, the mediator, the OPM, like you? Like, what are some indicators that would be really helpful for them?
When your client roster is growing, when you are starting to get a lot of clients. And so instead of saying, I can't take you on because I have too many clients, I don't have the capacity. But if you are wanting to grow your business and you're wanting to scale your business, instead of saying no to new contracts, hire somebody for 3 to 5 hours a week, just the basic stuff, because that's going to help you. If you want, I have a client that just landed 2 new contracts. If I wasn't there, it would probably taken her a lot longer to get to that point. So I believe that if you have somebody, even if it's a virtual assistant, just helping you out, just doing basic stuff, you'll be able to grow your business in a way that you never thought you could.
Yeah, totally. That makes sense. You know, I think it's like a little bit scary sometimes for people to think about investing in help, you know, but like then at the same time, exactly. It's like you could be leaving way more money on the table if you didn't invest in a little bit of help, especially for that busy work. They say, what's the percentage, like the 2% that actually will grow your business,
right?
You know, versus the busy work or the 20% maybe or whatever. Can we geek out just a little bit about AI? Because
sure.
I'm intrigued by like team dynamics and how like AI is looking for different businesses and especially like with team members and stuff, because there's 2 different things I want to ask you about maybe is like, firstly, I know that there's this fear/confusion about like now that all these AI tools are coming out here, you know, you can use tools to do a lot of different tasks in your business that you might have hired out for before. And then we'll start there. And then I also want to ask you about team dynamics when it comes to sharing with your team how to use AI tools and stuff. But have you run into any issues with people who have team members and they're like, okay, I'm paying, you know, this VA like $500 a month, but now like there's AI tools that can help me do a lot of things. Like, have you run into any kind of tension there with the teams that you work with and stuff?
Not with the teams I work with, but I've seen a lot of conversation happening online as far as, you know, well, I can't afford to hire a virtual assistant, but people are talking about using AI. for me personally, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if it's just maybe my personality. Like I love people. I love interacting with people, helping and teaching, all those things. So, I mean, there's some, I'm guessing, I don't know, honestly, I really don't know too much, but I'm guessing there's things out there like as far as AI that would help your business in a way that you don't need to hire somebody. I've just seen conversation about it.
Yeah, totally. I know. I always just get curious about how is this playing out in different people's businesses and lives. And then especially with like AI, evolving, and there's so many tools and people figuring out how to use them.
Yeah.
I know. That's just so interesting. But also, so the other question I wanted to ask you about the AI stuff is like, I really think that AI tools can be so, so helpful. Now, will they replace your human team members? Like, I don't think that they replace a human team member, but I do think that they can replace a task or help to aid certain tasks and stuff. But I'm always so interested because I truly believe that we need to be training these tools on our brand. Like we need to decide as business owners how we want to use these tools and like the different ways that we'll be using them, creating SOPs for AI tools in a way, or just like guidelines, especially for ourselves, but then also for our team members too. Do you have any thoughts on how people are using AI within teams or communicating to their team members?
I think it depends. I really think it depends on the industry and the task. So, for example, I do have a podcast client and she does have different tools that she uses with AI, but obviously she has a show note writer, right? So she writes the show notes, but she has AI that helps her come up with certain things, but then she goes to edit it to make it sound like the client's voice. So yes, I could see that helping in a way to make things go faster, but you still gotta put your human touch to it. I guess, again, it depends on the industry because I work with 4 different industries, but only one that I know of uses AI tools.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I know. I love just like hearing all the different thoughts and opinions about this stuff as it's unfolding.
Yeah. It's funny that, so I like to write. Like I really enjoy writing. And before, the whole thing of ChatGPT coming out, right, I wrote blogs. And there was one time I took a pause and someone's like, well, go to the AI tool to help you write your blogs. I use it as a tool to help me like come up with ideas, which sparks my writer's brain. So I'm able to write, because obviously as a writer, you want to be able to write all the time, but then you got writer's block. So that has helped me with that. I would still like to write as a human.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know. I feel you, lady. And luckily I get to be a guest on your guys' awesome Entrepreneur Encounter podcast. So I can't wait to nerd out about this with you more.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm like a word nerd myself too. And I like to write, but it takes me so long to write. So ChatGPT has helped me to break through writer's block and like get things out on the paper, and just like we always need the human touch for sure.
It's fun to play around with it, but just to kind of see there was one time I was curious what it would spit out. I was trying to like create something for our podcast. It was like an image of like for time management and all these things. And I was trying to create a graphic and I was getting frustrated because Canva doesn't really have many options. And we're not there yet to like get somebody to create graphics for us, but it spit out like a couple of images. And I go, what is this? That has nothing to do with what I asked it. Maybe I'm talking to it wrong. So I just closed my laptop. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore.
I know. Yeah, it is so funny. I love hearing the AI wins. I love hearing the AI horror stories.
Yeah.
Like, it's just something that's like, get curious about it. And sometimes you have to laugh at it too, because it doesn't always do the best job. But oh my goodness, I have loved this conversation so much. And I think it's so, so helpful for understanding like how we can work with teams and like really help to grow our business. Man, so many good tangible takeaways when it comes to like making sure that you're all on the same page and all that stuff. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Can you please share with everyone how they can connect with you and find any free resources you have?
Yes, of course. I'm on Instagram. So if you hang out on Instagram. You can go and find me there. You Are Rembert LLC. I'm more in the DMs, but you can check out all the information on my website, yourerembertllc.com.
Perfect. We will link it in the show notes. Thank you so much again. How great was Sara? You guys, I loved chatting with this woman. And oh man, it's so fun to connect with new people online who you have never really talked to before, who you never would have connected with except for our businesses. It was so fun to chat with her, and I know you love this conversation as much as I did. So make sure that you give us 5 stars or leave a friendly review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, because it truly will help us to continue growing our feel-good community and spreading that feel-good message. All right, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll catch you next time I catch you. Thanks so much for listening, my friend. For show notes and a whole lot of other awesome freebies, visit feelgoodsocial.com. Simply go to feelgoodsocial.com for all the goods.